100 is a cross-arts project that utilises theatre, film and textile installation, and it's been devised by Theatre Absolute to respond to the approaching centenary of the First World War. So there's For the Fallen, which is a short film by Jay Langdell, which explores the war really through the eyes of a veteran and two young boys, the idea of young men being prepared almost for war, which is something that we seem to do socially for many years.
We who love peace will love war. We will love.
Parents, mothers and fathers of children throughout the ages who've sent their children, however old, their offspring off to war, and I thought that was a very, very sad thing, and we don't ever seem to learn that lesson. It seems that that's the major sacrifice that's ongoing.
A short play called Powder, written by Richard Walls, which looks at the experiences of a woman working in munitions factories in Coventry in 1916.
Post for you. What news, Father? You'd better open it.
With the women working in the munition factories, it hasn't really been explored as much as I feel it should. So the opportunity, particularly with a one-person show, was to really take a statistic such as, there were 12,000 women working in the factories in Coventry at the time, and to actually take that down to one person, so people coming to the show could really start to identify with some of the emotional complexity that they were grappling with.
Working with Richard and Chris has been a really interesting and eye-opening experience for me. We really tried to look into how Bobby feels and what's happened in her life to bring her to where she is now. Well said, Bobby. You did good, girl.
And then the final piece is called A Kiss from France, which is a textile installation by Julia O'Connell, which explores and looks at the industrialisation of textiles and embroidery and stitch around about the outbreak of the First World War.
As an artist, I've always been interested in stories, and personal stories mainly, and the journeys that people sort of go on. What I started to do was interpret designs from the cards, the silk cards that I'd got. I took various motifs out of those and kind of timed myself how long it would take for me to discover the new stitches, the actual patterns, and put myself through that kind of physical and psychological process in terms of making the cards.
The fact that we start with the film, which allows the viewer to be very, very distanced. We then kind of come into their closer space. They can, see the whites of her eyes, and then they're able to go over to Julia and actually get even closer.
So it's been a really great opportunity as a young, emerging independent producer to work on a multi-layer project like 100. Theatre Absolute have been great, and they're all about kind of sharing skills for the next generation of artists and sort of gauging new audiences and getting people to sort of recognise the work that's been done.
Well, having premiered the piece in Coventry over this last week, the idea is to make the project available nationally and regionally to gallery spaces, to museums, to theatre spaces, non-traditional theatre spaces. And the fact that the pieces are created in a very simple way, they can be performed, each of them, together or separately in lots of different spaces with very little technical resource, so they're kind of very special in that way. Steve Waters' play Coventrated actually premieres in May-June 2014 next year, so that will be the completion of the 4 commissions that Theatre Absolute has undertaken, and the idea is to bring all of the 3 current commissions together with Steve's in 2014, so there'll be a complete holistic experience for audience members.